Call to order. Okay. Welcome to the regular meeting, Guadalupe City Council, Tuesday, November 25th. May we have roll call, please?
Sorry. Costa, Councilmember Costa Jr. Sorry,
He's not here.
absent. Am I doing roll call?
You're doing great.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I am
All
sorry.
right.
So, good evening, Councilmember Costa Jr. is absent. Councilmember Fernez,
Here.
Councilmember Villegas.
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Here.
And Mayor Julian.
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. Will you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next item is a moment of thanks, appreciation, or condolences. Starting my left, anything?
No.
Just best wishes for Councilman Costa for getting healthy and wealthy and back, not wealthy, you can get wealthy too, but back. All right, next item is agenda review. Is there a council person that wishes to change the order of business? I think I was talking with Whitney in terms of Dr. Cornelius is not here right now. So if we'll just change A to B and this reverse, we'll do B for program first or general plan. And then when Dr. Cornelius comes in, we'll do that. Is that okay with the council? Okay. The next item is ceremonial calendar, oath of office. Mr. Bobby Fortier, Airport Police Officer. Chief Cash. And they can come up and take pictures if you would care to.
And defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State
and the Constitution of the State
of California
of California
against all imminent enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true
I will bear true
faith and allegiance
faith and allegiance
to the Constitution
to the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of California,
of the State of California.
that I take this obligation
And I take this obligation
freely
freely
without mental reservation,
without mental reservation,
purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
upon the duties I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm very appreciative of this and thank all of my family and friends that showed up and support. Most of all, I'd like to thank the good Lord. Thank you.
Good. Thank you and welcome. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Well, you had.
We got paramedics here, don't we? I'd like to thank Bobby for joining our airport team. We have an outstanding contract with Santa Maria and Santa Maria Airport, and that is growing. They brought in another airline. And with that, there's rumor of a fourth airline. So we've appreciated the contract that we have. The officers that we have working there, they're all retired sheriffs. And I got to admit, at first it was a little nerve-wracking saying that they're sheriffs, but we've had outstanding service and outstanding reports back from TSA and Santa Maria Airport. So this is a great addition, and hopefully the revenues will also make it nicer.
Okay, good.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
take pictures if you want with the family, if you want to. Thank you, sir. In my haste to get to the ceremonial calendar, item 5 is community participation forum. Deborah, did you have it says city council. Any number or open session?
That was
Okay.
my mistake. I just wanted to remind the community about the Royal Theater groundbreaking on December 1st at 1:00. So all of you folks out there, come and join us. And also on December 6th at Leroy Park, there is the event which Judy can remind me the name of. A Day in the Park.
Okay.
Hey, isn't that clever? And what time should people arrive? 12:30.
And what
Okay.
happens there? Can you speak in the,
That's for the Guadalupe Lompoc Initiative. And so that will have they will have vendors, and then just there will be different nonprofits representing the initiative.
okay,
And the farmer's market will have a booth there.
Yes.
okay, thank you. Thank you, Deborah and Judy. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on an item that's not on the agenda and wishes to speak? Okay. Did we receive any requests to speak? Okay, thank you.
Oh, sir.
All right, we'll go to presentations, and Larry, we'll go ahead and start with you if you're ready.
Mr. Mayor, council members. The professor apologized. He was stuck in traffic in the 5 cities. And so he was hoping to get down here before it started, but we might need to just take a little break
Sure.
For him to load his PowerPoint. So I'd be happy to go ahead with my item. The 2042 general plan was adopted by council on November 22nd, 2022. And as part of that plan's adoption, council required 43 different programs to help implement that plan. And the first one that needed to be done, I did within the first 3 months, and that was taking all of the parcels, around 100 parcels within the city that had to have their zoning changed to be consistent with the new designations from the land use element. In early 2024, I asked council to prioritize the 43 programs and come up with one favorite program that they wanted implemented. And so we got those together, and you can see on page 2 and 3 of the staff report, the status of those. They're either done or they're ongoing. So we're happy to be working on those. Bill Scott, your new planner, has a big project in doing the downtown revitalization plan. He's working on getting a committee together at this point, and we'll be bringing stuff back to you periodically as they're working through that. The staff report has the status of each of these programs. I don't plan to review each of them individually, but we'll answer any questions you have. And the reason I'm here is because apparently at the last meeting or a couple meetings ago, you guys asked to have an update on this. And so that's why I'm here. So any questions?
Any questions of Mr. Appel? You know, I just wanted to compliment you and Bill. I had a meeting in Santa Barbara regarding housing. And both you and Bill were so quick to give me the data that many cities don't have. And I was impressed with that, and it gives us a number on the RHNA, the regional housing affordability. And people need to review that because it's very important for us. And again, it takes a fine-tuned mind and minds to be able to generate that. So with implementation process, it's really important for us to make sure we respond to that and do what we need to do. So,
We're happy to do it. It would have been a lot easier if we'd ever been able to get that planning software. We could have just kind of hit a couple buttons and had the information, but we can do it the old fashioned way.
okay, well, you did, and it was a good job. So,
Thank you.
please.
Just a simple question. On some of these things, you're showing within 3 years, this department needs to do something within 3 years.
Mhm.
What if those things that need to be done aren't done? Are
There's
there
no penalty.
ramifications? Oh, okay.
No, all the state is looking for is that we're doing due diligence on these. We're making progress. We initially when we were doing this plan, the consulting firm was wanting to say within 1 year. And I said, hey, you're looking at the planner. There's
Make
no
it
way you
look
can
a
get
bit-
this done. And now with two of us even, it's hard to do. But we took care of the most important one. That was the consistency rezone. And that's in place. And we're just working on them as we have time and as we have money.
I hate to be so short, or you're not traveling anymore.
No,
so-
we're home for a while.
Okay,
88
all right.
days on the road, it's time to stay home.
Okay. How about staff? Any questions of Larry?
Do you report this to the state? You might have mentioned it already, but I didn't. When do you report this data to the state?
I can do it anytime.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean, it's,
gotcha.
there's no specific time.
Okay.
There actually is, an annual general plan update that they ask for. I don't know that I've ever done one, and they haven't, come back at us for it, but there's just a lot of other stuff that we need to do. There's more important, the housing reports and stuff.
Mhm.
Keeping up with the ADU stuff, we've had 3 more bills that were signed by the governor. And so when I go home tonight, I'm going to finish writing the staff report, which is due at noon tomorrow, so that you
Okay.
guys can have that on the 9th. And we'll get the new regulations into effect early next year.
So many new regulations that come in, it has us
Yeah.
hopping. So,
Yeah.
okay. Please.
Cute story. I know, we didn't get a lot of time to follow up on this, and then you wanted information on it. So we had, in our managers meeting, we were just kind of going over it, and then Annette goes, well, why don't we just do it right now? And so we kicked it out right away.
I
That-
saw that. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
That was very helpful.
Yeah, it was helpful that
Yeah.
you
As long as
pushed
it's
it.
accurate.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, as long as it's accurate.
Yeah. no, it's- Well,
Okay. Okay, no questions of Larry? Thank you. Sorry it was so short. We could have, okay, okay. All right. Now we'll wait for Dr. So we'll go to item 8, consent calendar. The following items are presented to the city council for approval without discussion as a single agenda item. Is there a council person that wishes to pull an item for further discussion?
I do.
Please.
B and F,
B as in boy?
B as in boy and F as in Frank.
Okay. Anyone else? Can we approve the balance of the consent calendar with a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the balance of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. All ayes. So we'll go to item B, Ms. Villegas.
Just a quick question for Annette, and you're new, you may not know, but you can send me an email. On page 1 of the warrants, under Kesso, the clinic that we use for pre-employment processing, there's 3 invoices that are old. One is for, if I'm reading this right, February, and another one for March, and another one for May. And it's for the pre-employment process of 3 individuals that we hired. And I just wondered why they were late. Did the clinic send us late, or?
I can. I got it. They just were not paid, so I received an email with those outstanding charges and sent them off.
Okay,
To get taken care of.
all right, thanks.
Okay, want to go to item F?
Oh, wait a minute. Can't see. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, chief. The matching funds, it says it'll be paid from Fund 142. What is 142?
That is our state money. Each city gets a portion of an overall budget from the state. That's from license fees and roads and everything else. So each law enforcement agency is designated pertaining to their population a quarterly check.
So
So-
it's not general fund.
No, it's not
Okay.
general fund.
Okay, thanks. That's all I want to know.
Any further questions? Oh, hi, Doc. You got a thumb there? Okay, no problem. We understand traffic is tight. Okay, take your time. We're gonna give you some breathing room. So is there a motion to approve item B and item F in the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve item B and item F on the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Okay, we're gonna take a couple of minutes to load up Dr. Cornelius's information. Yeah, really.
Easy.
Okay, the next presentation is update on implementation of various programs. Nope, wrong one. Guadalupe Climate Action Plan update, Dr. Cornelius. You're welcome. Okay,
On at the 5 cities
oh yeah, it's always
area,
tough there. Yeah.
It took all the time. Okay, so this is really, I mean, somewhat a repeat of a previous presentation, but council was not in session at the time. And it's important enough that we've been trying to schedule a presentation for all council members to participate. So thank you all. The city of Guadalupe, in a working partnership with the county of Santa Barbara, is developing a climate action plan to reduce the community's carbon emissions and enhance its climate resilience. The county and its partner, Community Environmental Council, have received state funding that is allocated to the completion of the project. And we are helping to develop the climate action plan. I'd like to acknowledge that the Guadalupe Climate Action Plan is part of the Guadalupe Lompoc Initiative, GLI. As the image identifies, the city of Guadalupe is one of the grant partners of the GLI. So on today's agenda, we will briefly introduce the topic of climate action planning and the project with an outline of key areas of climate action. Then we'll outline climate-specific problems in Guadalupe. Mainly, we will spend most of the time on a workshop activity in the form of questions and answers. Finally, we'll outline next steps in the process, after which we will open the floor for public comments. So a very quick overview next. The city of Guadalupe recently updated a general plan which mandates preparation of a climate action plan to reduce the community's carbon emissions and enhance its climate resilience. Therefore, a CAP, or climate action plan, will help the city fulfill one of its key general plan recommendations and support its ability to receive future climate funding. The anticipated outcome of this effort is the climate action plan. Next. So, why climate action? The answer to this question explains the motivation for the project. We are all witnesses to recent climate-related disasters, wildfires, tornadoes, floods, and droughts that are getting larger and more frequent in the state of California, nationally, and even globally. These events include a growing climate crisis. These events indicate a growing climate crisis in the world. It is apparent that climate-related risks are multifaceted and cut across jurisdictional boundaries. So the state of California is at the forefront of taking action and has set priority areas of action. The city of Guadalupe recognizes this need. That is why the general plan requires the preparation of the plan. So for everybody here, your role as a resident or stakeholder is to express what you wish or are willing to do for a better environment during the planning process and follow through with changes in your daily activities and choices. Next. So what is a climate action plan? It's a state-mandated framework document for environmental preservation. It addresses key problem areas that contribute to climate change and impose problems on communities. The picture identifies key priority areas of human activity which produce emissions of gases that cause global warming. Therefore, cities pledge to take steps via climate action plans in the form of goals, policies, and programs. Those programs help to lower air pollution, become more energy efficient, improve public transportation to lower automobile use, and promote healthier living environments. So let us review these areas of action in the next few slides. Transportation is a major area of focus because it is one of the largest sources of air pollution. To address its problems, we need to transition to zero-emission vehicles like electric vehicles, reduce car use, and increase walking, biking, and public transit. We need to place housing and other compatible activities near each other. This is something termed mixed-use development. The next area, industry. Industry is another major area of focus because it is one of the largest sources of air pollution. To address its problems, we need to transition to clean technologies that do not depend on oil, gas, coal, and wood, transition to sustainable standards, and replace the use of dirty fuels with the use of clean fuels. The next area, energy, is another major area of focus because it is also one of the largest sources of air pollution. To address its problems, we need to replace energy sources that warm the planet with renewable energy, transition from dirty power plants that use coal, oil, and other polluting fuels to clean energy sources like wind and solar, generate at least 50% of California's electricity from clean energy sources by 2030. That's a state mandate. Eventually, phase out dirty energy sources and harmful gases like methane. The next area is simply called high global warming activities. These constitute another major area of focus because they are human actions that release heavy amounts of gases into the atmosphere. To address this area, we need to limit as much as possible gases with high contributions to climate change, like those in old air conditioners and refrigerators, like HFC. We also need to phase out actions that release heavy amounts of gases, like burning fossil fuels for energy, clearing forests, and so on in multiple priority areas. So this high global warming set actually cut across the others. We replace dirty fuels in industrial sector. We transition to clean energy sources in domestic and commercial spheres of energy use. We phase out diesel and harmful on-road and off-road equipment to zero-emission vehicles in the transportation sector. The next sector, agriculture, is also a major source of air pollution. To address its problems, we need to deploy the use of renewable energy like wind and solar on farms, modify livestock practices to reduce methane emissions, popularly known as cow fat, restrict pesticide use, and improve soil management practices that retain water in the soil. The next area, lands. The way we conserve, maintain, and use natural lands like forests and working lands like logging, grazing, and growing areas affect the environment. To address related problems, we need to restore ecosystems, including wetlands, riparian areas, tree and vegetation cover to mitigate indirect climate change effects. We also need to manage forest and wildland areas to limit wildfires. Finally, we need to enhance green priority areas like national parks, green infrastructure, and so on in collaboration with native communities and environmental organizations. The next area of focus, waste. The way we handle waste is another area of major concern for the environment. To address related problems, we need to reduce methane at such sources of odors as landfills and farms, control food waste through food recovery, recycling, and waste management, expand organic recycling and composting as alternative sources of fertilizer. Water. Water, a precious resource, requires energy in its extraction and distribution. Wasting water contributes to problems associated with energy use. To address related environmental problems, we need to conserve water use with expansion in drought-tolerant vegetation, low-impact development in urban areas, and reduction in impermeable surfaces. We also need to recycle water, expand infrastructure to maximize rainwater capture and use, and we need to manage stormwater to mitigate flooding and store water deep under the Earth's surface. So those are the areas that we are going to identify through, back and forth dialogue and workshops, the actions that the city will feel most comfortable adopting to become part of its climate action plan. But before that, let's look at some climate risks in Guadalupe. What are the key climate threats facing the city and this region? Flooding occurs in certain sections of the city close to the Santa Maria River. Air pollution from on-road vehicles, off-road vehicles, and pesticide use in agricultural operations do exist. Noise pollution comes from roads, train, and industrial operations. Droughts and shortages of water supply occur frequently statewide, and environmental injustice, which unequally affects the city's vulnerable populations. So those are the specific risks. Contributors to climate risk in Guadalupe, the factors that exacerbate or worsen the threats include the imbalance between housing and jobs, which increases travel for work purposes, the high dependency on vehicle travel instead of alternative modes of getting around, insufficiency of shopping amenities locally, which increases travel and results in a food desert within the city. So that, in a whirlwind, it's the presentation, most of the presentation I'm going to give today. We want to look at the workshop activities, and then I will wrap it up with where we are at the moment with the project. Okay. So we are going to do a set of exercises in the form of questions and answers. We've been doing this since the beginning of the summer. We've got quite a bit of input to the surveys from several residents of Guadalupe, even city staff and so on. But we wanted to make sure that the council people are all have all participated. And of course, everybody else here who has not participated can also participate. So it's going to be a series of quick exercises in 4 parts. First, we'll find out about your experience with environmental threats. Then we'll find out about actions you are willing to take or support for the environment. Then towards the end, we'll ask you to summarize your choices by selecting from a list of pledges. And then finally, we would like to know a bit about you, but we are not going to collect personal or identify information about you. Okay. So we now go to the handout which has the questions and answers. Now, I don't know if you have, first thing is, I know most of the people around the table, if you have not had a chance, you can actually access, if you don't have the printout, you can access it on the web and fill it as we move along. There are 2 versions, the English and the Spanish version. So I'm not too sure. Do you all have the printed copy? No? Oh, not in your packages? It should be. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you already did yours, yes. Yeah, it's in the package. If you wanted to fill it manually, yes. But if you wanted to, you can access it by phone or laptop, and then we can all, everything online is the same as what is printed on the paper. So you could do that too. Okay.
Is this the, excuse me, the study that was done previously? Because it looks very familiar to me.
Well, it's possible you may have
Completed it?
Yeah,
Right.
completed it. Depends.
Okay.
She was not here.
This one was originally done 2 or 3 months ago
Mhm.
in the climate action workshop that was here. I was there.
Yeah, no.
I don't
didn't
think you
do-
were there.
No, I wasn't.
So, okay.
Okay. Then I did a different one. Okay.
Okay, so all right. Okay, so if you are all ready, we can. It goes very fast. So this is my experience with climate threats in Guadalupe, and we simply go from question to question. So the first question is poor air quality within the city. And you select whether, you experience it routinely, a few times a day, occasionally, or seasonally, once or twice in the last 10 years, or you never experience it. So please indicate how much you have personally experienced or are simply aware of poor air quality. I'll give you a moment to check.
And if we've done these already, so,
Oh, well, if everybody has done it, we don't have to do it again.
okay,
Or because of the program, if you wanted to also do it later, after the meeting, in the interest of time, as for me, I'm open to that. We've done the general population and staff. As for that, we've done a good bit of those. I just wanted to make sure that, first council is aware and that council also partakes in the exercise. So the choice is yours. If you want to abridge it, I'll just finish up the presentation, and then when you finish filling it, if you give them to the city administrator, I'll get all the results.
Or alternatively, they could just scan the QR code and do it on their phone, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
or laptop. at
Or
home.
laptop.
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah, is there any update in terms of how many you've had already? Any,
Yes.
Okay.
So we've worked with the promoters.
Right.
And we have about 60 people who fill it in English, and about 180 people who fill it in Spanish.
good, yeah,
So we've got approximately about 250. It's a little bit more, but some people didn't quite finish it. So yeah, but at least we have a good number of respondents. Yeah. And I can even tell you a little bit, the gender of this city is very close, 48% to 52% male, female. But the survey, 60% are, it's 2-to-1, female versus male who fill it. For every 2 female filled the survey, 1 male filled it. Okay. So, but the other thing, the interesting statistics is the city residents claim Hispanic origin. 84% of residents claim Hispanic origin. And then looking at the survey that is filled so far, 80% also claim Hispanic origin. So it's really matching the demographic, pretty well. But that 30% to 60 male, female, we are going to create weights to make the adjustment so that everything comes to balance what the gender distribution is in the city. Yeah. Okay, so those are a few things I can tell you what is going on. So it's coming along pretty well.
well, with the promotores, they do a pretty good job of getting into the community, so.
Exactly. They did a yeoman's job. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Is there a deadline, or is there
Oh, well, we would have closed it by now, but because I was waiting for this meeting to happen
okay,
before. So let's say by the end of this year, I will close it.
okay,
Yeah. But we started analyzing anyway, and as more results come, everything is set up. We'll just drop,
okay.
the new ones in, and then everything will update.
Is
Mhm.
Is this on our website? So it's our job to get people to check in our website and get this completed, so.
Yes. So you mean the survey? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the survey is on Google. It's a Google survey form.
Right.
But then the moment you click it, it's on the GLI website, it's on a few other websites, and the city can also put this QR code and the link at the website for more people to participate. No problem. We're giving more time. It's very important. And you will see in a moment as I continue the presentation. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go back to the presentation. The number one, project activities. So now I want to give you a little status update. First, the project activities. There are 4 key sets of activities within this project. The first, represented by those blue boxes. The first set involves collecting the city's multiple recent planning documents for climate-related issues and programs, matching those up with the state's priorities and so on, and coming up with a compendium of what the city documents say and how they match up with county and state. Okay, so that's the first set. The second set relates to comprehensive community engagement as strategic points, of which this first workshop and its ancillary follow-up is part of that process. The third relates to analysis to estimate likely greenhouse gas emissions associated with multiple future scenarios, which include those without the cap and those with the cap. And we are going to use a particular software that called ClearPath that the county recommends. The final set of activities involves documentation of findings into the draft administrative climate action plan. So some timelines and milestones on this so far. The first, the anticipated duration is approximately 2.5 years. This project, it was intended to start summer 2024 and continue through fall of 2026, but the project essentially began in fall 2024 instead of the summer. But we are still confident that we can deliver the final product on schedule. The key milestones with accomplishments are the following. We have had project kickoff as far back as fall 2024, a year ago. So we are 1 year into the project. Community engagement activities are scheduled for winter 2025 through summer 2026. So we'll continue these engagement activities, all the way through this coming summer. The bulk of the first round already took place last summer. Then we need to prepare a draft list of climate actions that are integrated with the city's existing plans and are slated for summer 2025 through fall of 2025. For now, project personnel underwent training for the new greenhouse gas emission software, ClearPath 2.0, and we are preparing the database of actions. We anticipate greenhouse gas emissions forecasts to happen between this fall through spring of 2026, and those forecasts are pending, although I'll give you a little snippet today. The draft climate action plan is scheduled for summer 2026 through fall 2026. It is also pending with reviews and revisions to take place thereafter. Okay, so my next slide is not in your packet. Yeah, so this one is not in your package. I inserted it like 1 hour before I left home for this meeting because the work continues to happen, okay? So that's why I call it postscript, preliminary greenhouse gas results. So we have shared with a small group of advisory panelists a list of potential actions for consideration in the climate action plan. Some of the actions are raising consternation. However, most of those actions have to do with emissions from refrigerants. And I wanted to share with the whole group why. So as this chart shows, emissions from refrigerants were third place in 2018. So the blue bars are 2018, the emissions, and the red bars are 2035. You can see from the length of the bars, refrigerants at the bottom of the chart is third to transportation and energy, okay? And then everything else came after that. Now, by 2035, in fact, even already, refrigerants are now the dominant. And for the no mitigation scenario, future scenario, the refrigerants will continue to dominate, okay? This growth assumes that buildings have AC systems using high global warming potential refrigerants, and that the cumulative bank of refrigerants will grow. So refrigerants is not every home. People have multiple refrigerators and people have ACs, right? Some people have a refrigerator, a freezer, and then the little fridge near the bedside. We have all these multiple things and they all emit, okay? And not only that, commercial facilities, they have huge refrigerants all over the place. So it is a big problem which the state has realized. Now you see, when you look at the red bars, the refrigerant for 2035 is projected to be 2/3 of all emissions. You can see from the length of that red bar at the bottom, that is what is contributing to the red bar at the top, where total emissions will now go to 3 times what they were in 2018, okay? And it's because we have done preliminary analysis, found out this. That is why we went back and put in a lot of those actions related to refrigerants, okay? And we still have to discuss them back and forth and see what the city can live with, what people, can live with. But I just wanted to explain why those are there. This indicates that without policy changes, efforts in other sectors could be swamped by this silent source. It reflects why California passed regulation to phase out HFCs or hydrofluorocarbons. Otherwise, they can undo progress from other reductions. And as already said, therefore, we need to take a close look at the actions that we are going to adopt in the climate action plan. The next slide is simply saying get involved. Guadalupe's comprehensive initial instrument, get involved in that. If you haven't had a chance, tell family and friends that there is still opportunity for them to contribute and get their voices included. All persons with an association with Guadalupe can participate. Whether you work here or you live here, as long as you have some interest, you have a business here, anybody can participate. We also urge you to look for future community engagement exercises. Our next round of exercises will, after we've worked with the advisory panel and trimmed down everything, I think Larry has left, is already holding my neck for some of the actions in the list. Okay, so he and I have meeting planned to go over this, okay, line by line. And so, we need to do that. We are available to learn technical expertise to others too. Our next steps, we anticipate that we will compile the results of the workshop to inform the plan. We are keeping the outreach effort open like we said, and we will add additional outreach results to the compilation. During last summer, we began model setup to analyze potential effects of your choices. Next year, we will conduct follow-up workshop and other outreach events. In fact, I was discussing with the county folks that the comprehensive list of actions, we will run that in the model so that we can compare that with what the city has selected. Okay, we don't necessarily have to report that also, but at least we can compare it with others. So people can see whether doing all these other things really is worthwhile or not. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are. And I believe that's the end of my presentation. I thank you all very much for your patience.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Open to questions.
Yeah, are you gonna be at this? I know that Leroy Park is somebody, one of your members, the community members are gonna be at Leroy Park they mentioned this coming next Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be here.
At the
I'll
park?
be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us, all the GLI partners are invited. And
Okay, good.
I plan to be there, yeah.
Will people have access to be able to do this online or is there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I'll bring a couple of tablets and laptops
Okay.
where people
good.
can do it right there.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. You know, we participate with Santa Barbara County Air Pollution District,
Mhm.
and their data is very extensive in terms of how they obtain that.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you're communicating with them in terms of their umbrella, in terms of what they're looking at, like oil wells and things like that in this community. Now, you're talking about refrigerants. We have two coolers here, two coolers. We have Beachside and Taylor, and that's nothing but refrigerant. So
Mhm.
that's a big task in order to control that, or to see what we can do to control that and how it impacts. So.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not, so I think people fear that once you have the plan, you'd have to change everything. No, the plan is, we are talking 10 to 15 years into the future. If that refrigerant breaks down, then you want to replace it with one that has the type of gas that does not harm the environment. And so also, I had the same discussion with the county folks. For instance, they say, what can the city do? I said, you just pass ordinances saying, okay, newer housing, not for people who wants to go and change everything, but newer housing, anything that requires approval. Okay, why don't we now require that you put in, the type of refrigeration equipment that is going to, have very little impact. Things like, and if you want to combine reducing fossil fuel use and so on, you could change when they are updating houses, rehabilitating houses, change them to heat pump systems. All right. It's all electric. It's, all those types of things, the city can pass the ordinance and have changes take place gradually over time. So that's what it is.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Audience, any questions?
I just have one. No,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
know it's been long. I think you have a pretty good sample size
Yes.
of
yes,
surveys,
we
so
do.
it's a good representation of what people's thoughts are, and I think you did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newuso. I
You're
really
welcome.
enjoy your presentations every time.
Yeah.
I think the climate action plan is really going to complement our 2042 general plan. So thank you.
Indeed.
Okay, doctor, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
All right.
Right. Moving right along. We'll go to management reports, city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I don't have an extensive report, just want to say thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to work for you and for you out there. So thank you very much. Appreciate this. My last meeting. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, good luck to you in whatever you do.
Yeah.
And family too.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. And the planning department, you had that information, building department, we have that, so,
Yeah, we can touch on that if you'd like.
I don't know, is there questions regarding that
Yeah.
from staff? Nope. All right, we'll go to item 10, Director of Public Safety, Chief Cash.
Ooh. You wait till the meeting's over. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, and our community members. Just gonna give some bullet points of things that we've been involved in. As usual, during the holiday months, we get very busy. We had a meeting this afternoon, or this morning with Cyclemania. I think our council person rode last time with their family. So we're working to put the next one on. And it was a very good meeting. The only thing that was kind of interesting, Public Works was there and Isaiah was talking about, I think we said he had about 40 or 50 people this year, but they had 500, but they're trying to hopefully push to over 100 or more for ours. And so it says the sooner we know that we'll be able to do this, but they want to invite a lot of other dignitaries. And they were hoping council would be writing also. So that was brought up and talked about.
She has a cart, she could pull us.
So we'll be meeting again. I guess we're going to meet internally, but then we'll be talking about somewhere in January that we'll be trying to finalize the date. And they want to use the same route that we used last year. We got the Christmas parade coming up 12/13. And we're going to be having internal meetings so that we can take care of all of the logistics. And that'll be all hands on deck for us. We're looking for volunteers. We have the fire department Christmas candy giveaway will be on the 25th. So Elks Club has already donated the money, which we approved tonight. So the fire department will be buying that candy. And so we'll need volunteers to help put the candy into bags, and then volunteers the day of to play elves to pass out the candy as we hit every street in Guadalupe. Everyone is welcomed. On the 21st of December, Cares for Paws will be here on Sunday at the fire department on 9th, be providing free services for animals, cats, dogs, as far as shots and nail clippings and everything else. So if we'll try to get that word out, but that's already set for that date. The GBA will be, I'll be attending on the 11th of December, toy donations that they'll be giving to the public safety that we'll be preparing for families for this Christmas. And on November 13th, last month, the Santa Maria Women's Network provided a bunch of toys they donated to the public safety in City of Guadalupe. And so we're slowly putting the packages together for needy families. And if someone knows families that may need some toys or whatever, please let us know. So we can make sure we'll try to hit as many as we possibly can. We had a forum on 11/18, the Neuer Community Forum. Was very insightful. Two of our council people were there, and I'll kind of leave that to you guys, if you don't mind, to kind of give a follow-up on that. That was more of I'll leave it to you guys.
Interesting, but there was, because we couldn't have a quorum, there was only two that were there, so the third would have been a Brown Act violation. But there was some general questions about, one of them, do we have a cannabis place? What other questions? I can't remember. Yeah, transportation safety. So it was pretty informal. It was only about an hour. So normally the league presents this forum when there's a, during election year. So I know that they're gonna be back asking questions of those who may want to run and asking detailed questions in terms of, but this was just a general synopsis of what we're doing here, and it's good to have them come into our community, so the league.
That was my first one kind of attending something like that. So it was very interesting. We also, the Elks also donated 20 boxes of food that we gave out to needy families within our community. So we appreciate that from the Elks. And last is, if it's all possible for someone from council that could attend with me, the 1805 donor appreciation. We're going to have that on the 3rd of December. And I'm just trying to get the groups south of here to have more acknowledgement of Guadalupe. So we're really trying to put our face out there with some of the donors and others that are there. So it's a lot easier instead of me working in the room by myself. If anyone can assist, I would definitely appreciate it. If you can send me a note, and that way I can provide all the information necessary.
Where's this gonna be?
It is the date is the 12th. I'm sorry, December 3rd, 5 p.m.
Where? Santa Barbara?
Yes, I'll just
Okay.
leave it at that
Okay.
for right now. It's at a private residence.
Okay, and time?
Usually about 2 hours and we're out.
What time does it start?
5.
5, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Appropriate, yes. I try to
Are
get
you
out as soon
taking
as
the
I can.
Police vehicle?
Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, well, not the marked one, mine, yes.
Take an
Yeah.
old one so they know that we need one, so.
Oh, yeah, no. Because this does help me get prepared for when the grants come around. They have grants money that's already set aside, but then too is there's other donors there and they'll take me privately and we get additional grants. Let's put it that
Cool.
way. So any help is needed. And that's my report.
Any questions of Chief?
Excited to hear the conversation for Cyclemania, but just want to echo from last year that we're having education with our young cyclers because of the incidents that have occurred, making sure that we're teaching them how to safely stop, how to cycle within our community safely while vehicles are moving. And then I just also want to give a shout out to the fire. I had an incident at my home and within 5 minutes they were there and able to help. So thank you.
Good. Is that it? Okay. Thank you, Chief. How about the audience? Audience, any questions of Chief? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Super quick question for you. Regarding the toy donations at the Guadalupe Social Club, are you looking for any specific age group to focus on this year? Or is it really just any unopened toys?
The ones that are, we usually get a lot of the toddlers and, from 5 below, but we need toys for some of the older kids. So that's what we're really trying to push. Anything 10, 12, and especially for little girls items.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go to item 11, Director of Public Works, David.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, staff, community members. So first off, we have received some of the speed bumps that we ordered to take out the more aggressive ones and put in more vehicle friendly. So a portion of the equipment is in. We're still waiting on some stuff to get in before we can start installing those. The goal is still by Christmas. We're just depending on suppliers at this moment. It's kind of out of our hands, so, but fingers crossed by Christmas break, we'll be able to have that stuff going in. We finally just decided to bite the bullet, and on 166 and Highway 1, we're ordering at the cemetery. We're gonna put in the push button signal light
Oh,
for the
great.
crosswalk. We kind of figured if we wait for Caltrans or someone else to try to do it, then, you know, we're gonna be waiting for another 3 or 4 years. So we're just gonna eat that and put some of that Chevron money to use. It's kind of the where we're at to try to get things going around here. A lot of other stuff is just business as usual, minor repairs. One thing I want to point out though is we did install the basketball courts in the courtyard.
Right.
So I've seen one person, father, son. I'm assuming we're out there playing last Friday, but it'd be nice if people got out there, brand new hoops,
Mhm.
you know, clear backboards. I mean, they're pretty sharp, so it'd be nice if some people got out there and started hitting them, you know.
It's a guy right next to you.
Just no
Yeah.
hanging on the rim, you know.
Okay.
We're working with Santa Maria Valley Railroad to they're gonna take back their caboose that they donated many years ago. So they're looking to get cranes in and they're gonna drop it over at the UP yard next door until they can get it moved. The water repairs are still in progress. They're doing the programming on the PLCs, computer talk, whatever those actually are, but they're programming the software so that we can get it installed in the computers. iTech is working the computers. We now have internet out there. So that's all moving pretty smooth. All the tests came back perfectly good for the tank one after we did the recoding. So no worries there as far as contaminations or cross contaminations, nothing like that. So all of our water is working really good right now. And the same with the sewer plant. No problems there. It's actually working very well. We added another aerator got installed. And we're moving pretty good out there. The only other thing is I don't know how council members feel or the community themselves. But I've been in talks with California Men's Colony with their fire camp. They have community service crews that are essentially inmates that are supervised by correctional officers that we can do contracts with to kind of get them to come out and do things like Highway 1 between Flower, weed abatement at the sewer plant, different like problem areas. So that's just one of the things that we're kind of exploring. It's not super large contracts. It's like a day work. They work Morro Bay, SLO, AG. I think we would be the first in Santa Barbara County, at least from the men's colony, to do any kind of contract, but it's just something that we're kind of tossing around to kind of help with the beautification process in those areas that, most people don't really want to get into. Last week they were out at Oso Flaco cutting trails and stuff like that. So, they do good work and it's just another avenue, another resource that we could try to utilize.
I personally think it's a good idea. I know that they have, supervision there. But that's my opinion. So what do you have to do in order to, maybe Chief can go out there too, I don't know.
It's pretty cut and dry. I used to work with the people in the business services department that established the contracts. So it's just reaching out to them. They verify with like CAL FIRE and the warden, the AWs verify that they can actually come to Santa Barbara County because that could be an issue. Just because of different clearances for out of county. And then we would do a contract just like every other contract and they provide the correctional officer. We provide tools. That's kind of the biggest hurdle.
I have a comment on that. I'd want to pulse the community and make sure that's something that
Yeah,
people feel
absolutely.
comfortable with. I mean, personally, I think it's a fine idea, but just make sure that our community feels comfortable with that.
Anything
Mr.
else?
We would, he said there'd be a contract required, so we would bring the item to you in the contract, so you might be able to get some
Flush it
pulse
out,
of the
yeah.
community at that point.
In fact, I think it was Juan cutting the road between that area next to Treasure Park between Flower. Looks good when it's nice and flat, so. Okay, all right, good. Any questions of,
David, do you have a guesstimated time on the crosswalk traffic signals?
It's been ordered. That's another one of the items that were on the mercy of the supplier.
Okay.
But yeah, it should, fingers crossed, any minute. I mean, it's there. It's just when it gets here. Correct. Staff will install it. Just like earlier last week, we repaired the one on Masatani right there at that crosswalk. It's very simple. We just gotta actually get it.
by the way, this passed, and I have it under my activity report, but we cleaned the Memorial Plaza parking lot, and the city staff basically had the trailer out there to where the volunteers could take all the leaves and the trash. So appreciate the staff doing that, and also brought coffee. So that keeps the visitors and volunteers going. So thanks, David. Okay, Recreation Services Manager, Mr. Arnulfo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff, and citizens. I'm gonna just highlight some things that went down in October for the Parks and Rec. First off, we had a movie night that was well attended. It was A Nightmare Before Christmas, a classic. And yes, people really enjoyed it. I'd like to reiterate, we have a great snack bar selection. That's all under really it's $4 and under. And we're gonna have a movie night the 12th, the day before our Christmas parade, and we hope to see you out there. Spoiler alert, it's Elf. Moving on, we had Guadaween, which was a really well attended night. It was Halloween night. We had a couple of food truck vendors out front. We had Touch of Style bring out a couple of their cars, had a great inflatable out front. They were giving out candy for a trunk or treat. We had the auditorium full of resource booths that not only gave great information for our city members, but also gave out candy, a couple games and crafts with them. We had Kiwanis doing a cakewalk. We had just a fun-filled night, bunch of different activities going on, and can't wait for next year. We had a lot of great feedback for it. Learned a lot on the night. So we're hoping to come back next year and, a little bigger and better. We also had a community ofrenda here at City Hall. It was in our glass case in our lobby, which was beautiful. We had the help of not only community members who participated, but as well as students from Mary Buren making skull masks, papel picados, some paper cempasúchis. And it really all tied in together really well. Again, there's a thank you for the kids' help on that, and they had a great time. The teacher just picked up about like a week ago the supplies they had left, and they were really looking forward to having them back. And I'm glad that they were excited about the project. On the 1st of this month, we had a Dia de los Muertos, which is the first time we had an official Dia de los Muertos event at our cemetery. And we had Victor Valencia playing his guitar. We had a couple vendors out there. We had the same mask craft out there, which shout out to Mackenzie. They had helped me prep for those masks. That was great. And another beautiful evening, been looking forward to next year. And so stuff kind of just moving into I guess this is just October, so I'll just stick with October. But I would like to touch on the outdoor court, which great job on the hoops. Those are great hoops. Please, I saw the father's son or something. Kid was getting some drills. I was like, there you go. We are going to have a pickleball open court on Fridays, 3 to 5 p.m. I was approached. I had a conversation with a resident, and she was wondering, hey, you guys have pickleball? And it was something I've been wanting to start up. And so I asked her, like, you kind of the first person really to show interest. What's kind of a time that you would like, so she had, Fridays is good for me, which I could see just because end of the work week, it's something in town. You don't have to really worry about like, oh, have the kids, it's a school night, blah, blah. So, and, I'm open to, ideas and trying out different times. We're going to try out this time. It'll be out, like I said, outdoor. We have a great pickleball court. Honestly, we have a net, we have some pickleballs and a few paddles. So if you limited paddles, if you have one, dust it off, bring it out. As well as we have badminton in our gym on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the mornings, starting at 10. These things are kind of based on participation. Badminton could, use some help in the participation department. But like I said, that was a member of our community that reached out to me, having a desire to have a program. And, if people want to start a program, they're passionate about it. I'd love to support it. So yes, like I said, badminton's Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 10 a.m. inside the gym. Pickleball is on Friday evenings in our outdoor courtyard. And just want to give a shout out. We have a volleyball tournament coming on. I didn't have couldn't include it in this report, but December 20th at our City Hall gym. These flyers, it's on our social media, as well as a separate flyer that states, if you don't have a team or you're just an individual that just wants to be placed on team, please text the number on there. If you do have a team, please text the number. We're going to have single elimination bracket style tournament, co-ed. There's a minimum of 2 female players on each team. And we really hope that people take advantage of this. Tomorrow night we'll have open gym for our volleyball, and they've expressed interest. So I'm really hoping that this happens. But again, all these programs really depend on participation. So please participate. It's going to be fun. We have some t-shirts, great t-shirts, classy t-shirts for the winners, and I'm excited for it. And that's my report. Thank you.
I emailed Mr. Navarro today because I saw the time frame for pickleball, and a lot of times that late at night you can't get the kids out. Maybe I would, to me personally, if it's possible, is to actually have an open where somebody could just, if the net was out there, they could bring their own stuff, because all I need is 2 people. And then you can have 4, but there's a lot of interest regarding pickleball in Guadalupe. As you may know, the city, the school district is partnering with another professional pickleball group. And I don't know what's happening with that, but I think that if you have 3,200 kids under age of 18, they need to get out, start moving around, bicycles or volleyball or basketball or pickleball. So the word needs to get out that that's available, and then we can go from there. Like you say, no use having it there if nobody's going to be there. It's just like badminton. I think that there's 3 days a week. I know that the organizer, that's his passion. So we've got to put some fire under him to start talking to people to get out there. So, okay, that's all I had. Anything?
Thank you.
When is the volleyball open courts?
Every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock.
Just want to make sure I can enter the volleyball tournament. Gotta check out my competition.
Well, that's been going on for several years now. But the last time I was there when Joe was, is he back, by the way?
He's not.
Not yet, okay.
How about dodgeball?
What's that?
Dodgeball?
But there's probably 30 people that end up going to these things. So is that a 6-person team or is it a 4-person team or
I believe it's 5 per team.
5 team? Okay.
And we
Well-
do, like I had mentioned, if you're a person, an individual that doesn't have a team,
We'll stick
please
'em
still
in there, yeah.
contact us. We'll put you on, we'll find a home for you.
And that's on it's on our city,
Yeah, on the Parks and Rec social media page,
Okay.
both on Instagram and Facebook.
I think you're gonna have a lot of people that want to do that, so.
We're hoping.
Yeah,
It is free cost.
except that one guy who was about 6'6" and would hit straight, straight down, so.
The community members hold their own, so don't
Yeah, they
let them
do.
intimidate you.
Well, you had a lot of Mexicanas playing
Right.
and that was awesome.
Hmm.
That was awesome. So, and they were good. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, let's see what's the next item. Okay, regular business, item 13, ordinance number 2025-524, repealing Guadalupe Municipal Code ordinance number 2022-504. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are
Good eve-
you?
Good evening, Mayor Julian, council members, staff, residents. My name is Ian Livingston and I'm your acting building official and presenting tonight on the triennial adoption of the California Building Standards Code. And this will be amending Title 15 of the Municipal Code, previously amended in November of 2022 at the time of the adoption of the 2022 California Building Codes. A little background on the process. The state of California adopts the most recent model codes on a triennial basis every 3 years, as published by the International Code Council, the International Association of Plumbing Mechanical Officials, and the National Fire Protection Association. And these 2023 and 2024 codes become, as amended, the 2025 California codes. Now, this year is a little bit different than previous cycles that we've seen for 2 main reasons. This is the first year that the California Wildland Urban Interface Code has been adopted, the 2025 Cal WUI code, as it's referred to. In addition, we saw the passage of Assembly Bill 130 as part of a budget trailer bill this year, affecting a number of land use items, but in addition, restricting the ability for local jurisdictions to enact local amendments to the building code if they affected or impacted residential units. So this was a change from the typical process for adoption. Typically, we would have the ability as a local jurisdiction to adopt amendments based on local conditions such as climatic, topographic, or geographic findings that we would present to the Building Standards Commission. And what AB 130 did was amend the health and safety code and essentially pause the residential standards from 2026 until 2031, at which time it'll be revisited. As such, in previous code cycle adoptions, the city has adopted the code as written, and we will continue to do so. There is no proposed local amendments due to the additional state law, as well as the complication to the building code requirements that it may present. And due to this year's required adoption, it's my recommendation that we introduce this ordinance this evening, continuing it to the December 9th meeting, where upon adoption, I would then file and present that to the Building Standards Commission on behalf of the city.
Okay.
And I appreciate your time this evening, and I'm available for any questions anyone may have.
Okay, any questions from council, staff? Is there a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-524?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-524 and continue to the meeting of December 9th, 2025 for second reading and adoption.
I'll second.
There's a second, any discussion? We'll have roll call, please.
Councilmember Costa Junior is absent. Councilmember Fernez,
Aye.
Councilmember Villegas,
Aye.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Aye.
and Mayor Julian.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Anything else? You good? All right.
That's it. Thank you
Okay.
very much for your time.
All right, thanks for being here. Okay. Next item, approve a memorandum of MOU between the city of Guadalupe and the Guadalupe Business Association regarding the operation of farmers market at Leroy Park. Who's that? Is you?
Yes, I'm presenting, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, staff, residents. Oh, close there. Okay. The history of this goes back to November 2022, when the council was first informed about the desire of some community groups to establish a farmers market in Guadalupe. The vision at that time was a little different than the one that's being presented to you tonight. The history of that is briefly set forth in the staff report, and there's no need to really go through that. So moving ahead to June 2025, the Cosecha Guadalupe Farmers Market Committee, that's the name of the market. It advised the city council at one of its meetings that after completing its due diligence, that it determined that Leroy Park was the best location for the farmers market, and that they wanted to hold it on Sundays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The Cosecha, I'm just going to call it Cosecha, is subject to the oversight of the Guadalupe Business Association. And I will let them speak as to any details about that oversight. The proposal at the meeting, the recommendation of staff was to have the city enter into a memorandum of understanding with the market, or the Guadalupe Business Association, just to lay out the expectations of each party concerning the market. The proposal at the July 8th, 2025 meeting that was essentially looked at by the city council included a request that the city's rental fees for Leroy Park be waived for 12 months, that the farmers market be allowed to use a small portion of the Veterans Memorial Plaza for 6 months as a pop-up and have signage, also with no charge, to help bring awareness about the market at Leroy Park. Unlike the previous proposal back in 2022, there was no request by the market to use for free use of electricity or water. And they also offered to take all trash generated from the farmers market events to take away and deposit in other approved locations. The council generally approved this proposal, but it agreed to waive the rental fees for only 6 months. And it directed staff to prepare the MOU confirming these responsibilities. So before you tonight, we have an MOU that's been successfully negotiated with the Guadalupe Business Association. It has a term of 6 months as requested by the council, but it may be extended for an additional 6 months upon written agreement of the parties. Essentially, the city's responsibilities are to allow the market to operate on Sundays, essentially from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., an hour before, an hour after the operational hours, and without charge. The city agrees to waive its normal $520 flat rate for nonprofits or nonprofit rental of the park. And the city shall also allow Cosecha to use a portion of the downtown parking lot adjacent to Guadalupe Street to set up a small pop-up booth and signage from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those Sundays that the farmers market is operating without charging any fees. The MOU does not specify the exact size of the pop-up area, so it's assumed it would be probably less than 20 by 20. The Cosecha Market's responsibilities are a lot more extensive. They will ensure that the farmers market events fully comply with all applicable rules and laws, and it will enforce its rules for vendors. The rules are actually set forth in the attachment, the exhibit to the MOU. It's part of that business plan. And They also will not use any city electrical power or water. They will remove all the junk, trash, and debris. They also will maintain adequate insurance levels, adequate insurance with levels of coverage to cover its obligations and responsibilities, which essentially the standard city insurance requirements of $1 million. They agree to indemnify, defend, and hold harmless the city for any acts of accidents or claims arising from their negligence or misconduct. The market has requested the city look at this as a cooperative enterprise, and they've included partnership acknowledgement and a co-branding agreement. The city is basically to recognize and acknowledge the market as a key community partner. And it's going to be reflected through co-marketing, joint branding, and acknowledgement and promotion of these services of the COSECA programs and services by the city. This recognition will be implemented through the following materials and platforms. The city website will include information about any printed materials that the city decides to distribute will contain the co-branding of the market in the city. Same with public communications. Any public communications that are about the market that the city puts out would have to include the co-branding. Same goes for the market. Anything that they put out that has our brand on it has to be approved. It's a reciprocal obligation. But notwithstanding these agreements or these desires to co-brand, the MOU specifically provides the city is not obligated or required to prepare or distribute any printed materials or printed communications. And that's just because we didn't want to be forced to incur a financial expense against our will. The fiscal impact of the city is fairly significant. There is a loss of approximately maybe a little less than the $500 a day. The rate might have been negotiated for less than that since they're not running the entire park. That equals about $13,520 in fees that would likely be waived. But this is hopefully offset by the fact that the city is not incurring any other costs other than lost rental fees. It's not incurring any staff time, any use of its utilities, or not having to deal with additional trash, no employee overtime, that sort of thing. And hopefully it would help the city economically as a part of an economic development venture. That completes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I see that there's representatives from the GBA here who I'm sure also would like to speak on this.
On this pop-up booth, is it a booth that's occupied by someone from the farmer's market directing people and giving information?
We didn't get into the details of that. I left that up to them, whatever they wanted. We're just allowing them the space to use it.
Okay.
So you'll have to ask that question to them.
Can somebody answer that question? Judy?
Yes, yes, that would be members. Good evening, council and staff. I am Judy Wilson, the president for the Guadalupe Business Association. And in regards to your question, yes, it would be committee members who would be staffing it.
And would it be for the whole, that not 10 to 2 or 3 period, or the first hour or something like that?
We're kind of figuring that out, but I'm assuming not for the whole period. Maybe like for the first hour or two, maybe, but just enough. Basically, it's just so that we can direct people so that in the beginning really is what we're wanting. Like we have the first 6 months there, but we're basically wanting to, especially when the market is first starting, to kind of get people to notice that, hey, we have the area set up so that we can direct people there, and we will have signs that we will, like a sandwich board, something like that. And maybe possibly down the line, something to talk with the city about, maybe, you know, a more of a larger sign, maybe that could be displayed, but for the time being, just something that can be set out so that if you're driving by, and then of course with the booth sitting there, just to direct people to the area.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Church is there at the same time.
Yes, yes, and yes, yep. We have spoken to them about this already, but of course we need to go back once we have a definite date. Our date at this point is we had anticipated January, but we are going to be pushing it out to February. And we don't have an exact date in February yet. So we will be talking to the churches again and coordinating that with them.
You know how big that is a booth that you, Todd mentioned 20 foot. That's a,
We have like a 10 by 10.
okay, just a regular
booth.
pop-up.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, just a regular pop-up, not anything bigger than that, no.
Okay. Go ahead. Any further?
One other question. In reading the information here, there was something about the market manager, two questions. One, still recruiting for the market manager
Yes, yes, we are.
and status.
We have a possibility,
Oh, okay.
but we have a possible, well, we have an inquiry. We know someone that has informed the committee that they have someone who may be interested. So at the time being, we will look further into that, but we intend to use of course, the GBA website to place an application and advertisement for that on there, our social media sites, and then we also intend to put it in possibly regular the online employment sites. I did investigate that, and I have seen that other farmers markets have done that. They've listed their the market manager there as a regular position. So that is a possibility that we're looking at too.
Right, thank you.
This is a question for Mr. Cinco. It might, just random, for the MOU for notices, should that still say Todd for the email?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It shouldn't. I'll amend that page to put it to say, I guess, we'll send it to Juana.
Okay, thank you.
Because then it'll get to that, it'll get to where it's got to go. Good eye. This was written a while ago, so I didn't catch that.
Thank you. You know, in the past, one comment was that the paper goods and everything else would be deposited in the senior center bin. And here it says, on item 4, item 4, responsibility of GBA Coseja is that you'll take the trash and the junk, take it off site. My concern is that I wouldn't want to see it go into the senior center or any other city. So
No, our intention was that the vendors themselves.
that's
would
normally what
be-
happens.
yes,
So, okay.
Yes, absolutely. They would
Right.
be responsible for their own trash removal and bringing their trash bins, those kinds of things with them.
Okay. And the other thing too is that PO box, like it was pointed out, need to put PO box 908 on that. That's on the MOU. Any questions or comments from the audience? Back to the council. No, I think it's a great idea. I think that if you have two people that go down there and then eat at the restaurant, it's gonna benefit. So. Yeah, and then I don't see the use of that pop-up lasting very long. Once people get the word that it's gonna be down
Correct.
there.
Yes, won't be very long.
Right. So is there a motion to approve the MOU between the city of Guadalupe and Conseja and
Oh.
GBA?
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU between the city of Guadalupe, Business Association and the city. Or, is that right? Whoever it's between, I approve it or make a motion to.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Thank you, Judy, and
Thank you.
long time coming. Just get it going, yeah. Okay, where am I now? Okay. Agenda review, I'm not there. Missing my last page. What's the future agenda items? Okay, sorry about that. Future agenda items. Nothing? Susan, the update? Announcements, community council activity reports. We'll start on my right side. Anything?
I attended a few city events. I attended the Guadalquivir event. Really great to see families, children's, nonprofits here celebrating in a safe way. I attended Dia de los Muertos with my daughter. It was great to remember our loved ones. I also attended Veterans Day, the senior potluck, which had amazing food, and then also attended the Guadalupe Immigrant Support Team. Thank you.
Be there?
I attended the November GBA meeting. I was at the Veterans Day ceremony at the cemetery also. And there was a luncheon after at the Vets Hall, which was very nicely attended. Pleased to see that. And I also was at the Thanksgiving lunch at the Senior Center. I agree with Christina. The food was excellent and it was actually packed. There was an overflow room, which was kind of nice to see. I also attended on the 13th, November 13th, excuse me, a fraud and scam seminar. And I was talking to Chief as we were walking in here. It was advertised in the Santa Maria Times. It was free. It was sponsored by FSA and a family service agency. And it was held at Shepherd Hall, Santa Maria Library. The flyer, if you will, in the paper didn't say it was for certain groups of people, but it was obvious to see that if you looked around the room, there probably was about 50 people or so. The Shepherd Hall was pretty full. And there were only 2 people that I saw who probably weren't senior citizens. There was a CEO from Community Bank of Santa Maria who spoke, giving examples of financial fraud. Very interesting, very scary actually. And there was a chief, you probably know, Commander Paul Van from Santa Maria. Can't remember the last piece of the van. He encouraged anyone who has been scammed, think they've been scammed, to file a claim, and kind of walked us through that. And then there was a senior program manager from FSA who talked about, unfortunately, senior abuse. But excuse me, this is something I think that our residents would benefit. And I was told, not at this seminar, but someone else told me that the district attorney's office puts on this seminar, and that they had held one in Los Alamos at the library there, and it was well attended. So I wanted to catch Chief after next week or something and talk about bringing something similar to this seminar, because it is excellent. It was well received, about an hour and a half. Garrett?
just to let you know, through the GBA, not, well, I guess it is coming, this coming Monday, the first over at Escalante Meadows, we're going to do a very similar program from 6 to 7.
December?
Yes, December 1st, from 6 to 7 at Escalante Meadows. Right?
I thought there
That's
wasn't
the
a
one with,
December meeting.
that's what I thought, Stacy said. It's the 1st or the 8th. We'll
Pick one.
8th. Okay. Well, it's coming up.
Okay, it's good.
And it's going to be a very similar program to what
Okay.
we saw over there at the FSA event.
Yes, Garrett was one of the two non-seniors at this.
I don't
seminar.
know. I don't know. You're
Not-
pushing that.
Well, maybe I gave you a compliment. I'm
Well-
sorry. I don't know.
Today, I actually got my very first senior discount at a restaurant. So,
Oh,
Congratulations.
but I'll be running that presentation.
What-
So
what time?
it'll be from 6 to 7 and we'll verify the date. We had gone back and forth with Escalante on scheduling, so
Okay,
we'll verify.
right. Thank you. Thanks.
Whitney, anything? A couple things. One, at our SPCAG North County Sub-Regional Planning Committee, we meet in Solvang with a North County, anybody from north of Gaviota is considered North County. And we had a great update on our state Route 166. There's a big 40-page document that talks about everything they're gonna do relate from Highway 166 to 101 to Santa Maria River Walk to Betaravia. If one were to look up SBCAG, North County program, I don't know if whoever wants copy needs to talk to David in regards to what's going on. And one of the important things that regarding our route from along Treasure Park, they're actually going to put a stop sign on Highway 166 from Flower going across. So there's going to be a stop sign. They fought that before, but they said, well, we're going to need a stop sign there. So that's going to happen. Caltrans, they'll have a community meeting here, probably in the auditorium because it'll be pretty packed. And I believe it's January 21st, but I don't know if they contact anybody here to okay, but they have it locked in, so. No? Okay, they mentioned to me and us in our group that it will be the 21st, which is volleyball night, but they could play in between. The program, this report is very extensive. Anybody's interested in what's going on with Caltrans in the next 5, 10, 15 years. It goes all the way to, there's going to be some work on Mahoney Road. We know how when you hit Betaravia and then you hit Mahoney Road, there's a lot of concentration on that. Highway coming in from Santa Maria, Highway 101 to Santa Maria, there's going to be some big interchange work there. Highway Betaravia 101, there's going to be some monster changes there. It's all going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but our local projects are probably within the next, stretching out the next 5 years. The Obispo Street in that area is probably going to be 2028. They keep pushing things back. If you look at the document about how many projects they've got going, it's just pretty extensive around this area. So 80-something million, and I mentioned this before, just in Guadalupe. On the food bank on November 6th, we had 194 returning participants, 60 first-time USDA users, and for a total of 254, which is about a 67% increase over what we've seen in the last couple months, due to the issues with SNAP and other issues. Our next food bank is next Thursday, and La Favorita Market, which is the old Masatani's, they took 2 truckloads of food, and that added to our USDA and food bank loads. And additionally, it should be noted that the Knights of Columbus out of Napomo, one of the gentlemen that organizes that is from Guadalupe, Louis Quintana. They have a huge pantry, and when they get so much food that they can't get it in the pantry, they give it to us. Then we meld it with our with our product, which is great. On this month, I don't know if anybody's seen community or the old CAC. They submitted a 60-day WARN notice, which is a worker adjustment and retraining notification. They believe they do not have a grant to go beyond the end of this year. That's Head Start programs. They do not have a grant to go beyond the end of this year. So they have to give a notice to employees, as HR probably knows. So that, I looked at that, it's probably about almost 100 terminations for Head Start employees. They don't believe that it's going to be, it's going to impact any closures, but when you lose 100 people that are seasoned employees, it's tough. In Guadalupe, we're going to lose 5. And their goal is to continue to keep it open, but it's going to be it's going to be a tough road for the little kids and those that are being terminated. That's a lot of people losing their jobs. And that's all I had. So have fun. So is there a motion to adjourn to closed session?
I make a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Okay. So take a